Hi there, Coachmen owners. Today in your 2020 Coachmen Mirada Select, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install Roadmaster's charge line kit. This 12-volt charge line kit is going to provide you with the necessary wiring to have a charge line on your 7-way connector. Your standard 7-way is already going to have this here, but many of your motorhomes don't come with a fully operational 7-way connector. This is just the one circuit for the charge line circuit, which is necessary on some of your braking systems and also necessary if you want to charge the battery on your vehicle when you're flat towing it down the road. If you're going to haul any trailers with you as well and you have batteries on those trailers, you'll want a charge line on there, especially if they have brakes. That'll keep the battery topped up on the trailer. In the event that you do have a breakaway situation, that battery can be fully charged to apply the brakes. Our Mirada here didn't come from the factory with a fully functional 7-way, so we had to add that additional wire for our Brake Buddy Stealth braking system to work on our flat tow setup here. It's an extremely straightforward installation. You're just running a wire from your battery back here. There's a circuit breaker that comes included with the kit to ensure that the wire remains circuit protected. But other than that, that is basically it. Follow along with me and we'll show you how to get it hooked up. We'll begin our installation by locating our batteries. They can be found underneath the steps when you go to walk in your motorhome. We just lift up on the compartment door here. And we've got our batteries here. Next, we're going to want to mount our circuit breaker as close to them as possible. So we just put it here on the back wall and use the included self-tapping screws to run it in. You can use an 8mm socket with those self-tapping screws. We then have two wires we need to run. One's going to run right to the battery here. I recommend you wait to install this one until after you run the other one, so that way the wire isn't live. You'll notice you'll have 3 different ring terminals here. These two on the circuit breaker are going to be the ones that have the smaller hole. The larger hole one is for the battery side. We're going to crimp on the small ones. We can go ahead and connect them to the circuit breaker. Just hold off on the battery side. And then the main portion of wires, which you're going to want to start with this one, so you know you've got enough length. So connect a ring terminal to it, attach it, and then begin running it towards the back, towards your 7-way connector. We just followed right down the frame rail, zip tying it to any factory wiring on the way, because we know that factory wiring is already routed in a way where it's not going to get damaged, come close to anything excessively hot or any moving components. So we just follow this wire loom out and follow it all the way to the back to our 7-way connector. This is going to hook to your charge line pin. Now the connector that was on our vehicle originally didn't have a charge line pin in it whatsoever, so we did have to replace the whole harness here that goes to the 7-way connector in order to have all the pins that we need. On the connector we replaced it with, we used one here from Kurt, and the black wire coming off of this connector is going to be your charge line wire. So you can see right here, we took the red wire that we had routed back from our circuit breaker. We used a heat shrink butt connector and crimped it onto the black wire. Just strip back your ends, crimp on your butt connector, and then use your heat gun to shrink it down. Now if you are replacing this connector here with one from Kurt, it's pretty straightforward. I highly recommend what you do is replace it one wire at a time, because the wire colors are not likely going to match up with your motorhome. Motorhomes usually have their own proprietary wire color that just doesn't match up with our standard 7-way. So all you would do then is just match up pin to pin. So if we're looking at this white wire here, this is the bottom pin here. So I would start with this bottom one, I would cut it, and then I would wire it to the wire on the connector for our new one that lines up in the same spot, and then just work my way around doing it one at a time to make sure that all the pins line up with the same holes once you've made your connections. And that completes our installation of Roadmaster's charge line kit on our 2020 Coachmen Mirada Select.